What's up, everybody? I'm Stan.
I'm Mac.
And this is MES Tech, the hot mess of tech shows on the internet.
It really is.
It's terrible. But we're hoping to be better at some point in time. Maybe not now, maybe not in a week, maybe not in a month, but sometime in the future. So as you can see, we have a computer going on behind us. And when we introduced you guys to this channel, we were talking about what? Project Yardware?
Project Yardware 1.0. We were talking about possibly doing something in the future. And we did some cool things. We rebuilt a video card, which was pretty slick.
It's
600.
It's tight. So you can see some close-up shots of that.
And that was actually awesome, because that worked awesome. That worked slick. And we felt like heroes. Up until what happened, Stan?
Well, we tried to go live, which you saw in the video.
That fan power on?
No, just didn't want to do that. Could you grab the parts from Yardware 1.0?
Totally. So this is our CPU motherboard combo. I'll give you that.
Yeah, so that's the motherboard, the CPU combo. So this is what we pulled out of my computer that I built a decade ago.
Yeah, this is some other stuff, RAM.
Yeah,
and
so the
we
RAM.
have some CD-ROM drives.
The most important thing is that when we went to plug in the 7600 GT into this motherboard, it proceeded to not work.
It didn't post, it didn't power on, nothing. We got nothing.
Yeah, it was zip, zero, zilch, nada. We thought that we got it when, we thought it was like a grounding issue or something like that on one of these lower portions of the motherboard. And it was just like, it just didn't want to work whatsoever. So now we're in the process of trying to find replacement parts. And since this is a socket 939, this board was created probably about, 13, 14 years ago?
At this point, yeah. And it's a mite bit difficult to find parts at this point.
Luckily, we did. However, that's not necessarily the true spirit of Yardware 1.0. The idea was to get this stuff to work again, but we are going to kind of make something similar to a 939 work and see what it's actually capable of, because we got installs of Windows Professional 64, and the thing is going to absolutely smoke once it gets running. So we're going to introduce you into Yardware 2.0.
Perfect. The interesting thing in Yardware 2.0 is, well, for me, what just happened.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly.
Let's go over what just happened. Let's talk about what just happened.
Yeah. So what just happened? We have this build that we got going on. It's another AMD build, and come over to film everything, get everything situated, and all of a sudden it doesn't post anymore. It doesn't power on anymore. This is going something similar to what happened before. Are we awful at this? Yes, but we thought we were better than,
What's showing for results. That's definitely the point. And the reason, because, this is a computer because we learned our lesson last time that, hey, if it's working, you should probably leave it alone, right? So I've been extensively testing this just to make sure that the hardware works at a base level configuration.
Right, because we're dealing with used parts, you never really know what you're going to get. So this is something that Stan's been running through. We knew that it worked in a relatively low level, whatever, and then, we come over here to film and we unplug one or two things.
We take the graphics card that's working right now, which is going to be part of our evaluation of Yardware 2.0 and what your upgrade path is for something along those lines, and then we plug in our freshly fixed 7600 GT, which is how Windows got on Yardware 2.0. This is the card that made everything possible to get it started.
But the card isn't broken.
No, it works perfectly fine.
And it didn't short out the board because it's running right now.
Yeah, it's just updating its graphics driver to make sure that we're all set when we go to film the next video. The magical, mystical portions of computers are something that we kind of want to talk about because it's something that I'm sure everybody struggles with out there right now. So we did everything right. We did everything possibly right. We uninstalled the driver correctly. We put the new board in. We posted it into the BIOS. It recognized it as the device that it was. It recognized the channel that it was on. Then we went to all right, we've done our verification. Everything functions perfectly fine. We went to boot back into Windows, and it wasn't working. And then we went to boot with the known good card that wasn't the 7600 GT, and then it wasn't working. And then as things escalated and things stopped working, the emotions started running high, and you're just like, oh my god, am I really terrible at this? And then I was so freaking out at this process that I
Flames on the side of my face.
It was something that I'm sure that everybody out there can relate to, and I'm not sure how Matt was feeling.
I was just the fact that we had no idea what was going on with our relatively, in-depth experience with computers. I mean, we've built these since I was 9.
Oh, since I was a kid. Yeah,
right.
My first computer build was when I was 12 or 13, so that's 2 decades ago. Guys. 2 decades. That's like Windows 95 territory.
Regardless, it was just the fact that we didn't have any clue what was going on, and we were getting so amped up about frying another computer, and that we started overlooking things. We started skipping steps that we should have started with in the first place. You take a step back, calm down a little bit, go 0 to 10, diagnostic, figure out what's going on.
So, how did we actually solve this problem? First things first, we removed the battery from the motherboard BIOS. And then we set the jumper to clear the CMOS, so that way we were working with the most fresh portion of the BIOS and CMOS setup that we possibly could.
Number 2, we moved back and booted the board.
We did it with no RAM, no VGA connection.
Correct.
No, nothing like that. So it was just CPU, power connection, that's it, nothing else.
Correct. And it, gave us the right signals, and this indication, it's using a speaker to beep at us and tell us what's going on. It needed RAM next, so we fed it some RAM next, and then it wanted a VGA connection. We gave it a VGA connection, and then it was looking for a hard drive, and we gave it a hard drive, and then it worked.
Yeah, it was perfectly fine. But it was completely incapacitated just moments before. What you've got to do is that you've got to calm down, and you've got to take the steps the way that they're meant to be. So that way, you can solve these kind of problems on your own. And if you do run into an issue, like if our codes for posting went the wrong way, if we were getting like 17 small beeps or like, something along those lines, and it was completely fucked up, then we would have known where to go from there. Because if it didn't give us the right codes, we wouldn't have gone to the next step, and we would have taken alternative measures. But as of right now, what we're looking at is
running computer.
We've got an FX 6100 6-core processor. We've got a GTX 660 Ti. We've got a 560 Ti that I bought for $30. 8 gigs of RAM, solid state drive. For $150 out of used parts and some really good deals, you can make a game machine that's going to run GTA 5 at 50 to 60 frames per second on some of the highest settings possible. We're going to test Crysis on it. We're going to test Far Cry on it. We're going to go through the benchmarks. It's not the best machine, but it's good enough for the vast majority of gamers out there.
If you want to play, this is the computer to do it with.
Moral of the story, you're not alone. Everybody else has been there before. And take your time and follow the process that you know to be right. And if you don't know the process, find others that have been there before, get their support, get their guidance, get their knowledge, and go from there. So from MES Tech, the hot mess of tech shows on YouTube, hopefully we're going to get better, but I don't have much hope.
Nah, this will be pretty much every time.
Yeah.
But it'll be funny for you guys.
Yeah. So hopefully you enjoyed the graphics card repair video. Hopefully you enjoyed video number 1. This is video number 3 or whenever time it gets released. It doesn't really matter to me because what we're doing is we're building computers and we're going to make cool videos for you guys. There's probably not going to be a lot of B-roll, but hopefully you enjoyed it anyway. Hit that like button if you liked it. If you hit the dislike button if you don't. Make sure you subscribe to get more videos. And as always, we'll see you next time.
See you guys. That was awesome. That was cool.